Hello, hello. What's up, guys? Welcome to my kitchen. I'm just gonna make a red lentil dal real quick in the Instant Pot, and I want to show you how to make it. So let's do this. All right, so we're gonna start with our Instant Pot. I'm gonna set it to manual. So I'm gonna hit manual, and then it's on low pressure. Basically want to put it on the lowest setting possible. Besides like slow cook is lower, but or like yogurt or something, but saute's a little bit too hard or too high and kind of burns stuff. So we're just gonna put it on manual and just do low pressure. And if you can adjust the temperature on your Instant Pot or pressure cooker, set it to low. All right, so we're gonna start just with chopping some onions. That's a little bit better, right? I can kind of almost see me. There you go. All right, so I've got my onion. Just gonna peel this guy. Got my compost. I'm gonna slice our onion. Take a flat hand. Do a horizontal cut. Do another horizontal cut. All right, and then we're gonna use our claw technique. So thumb and forefinger together. Keep your fingertips tucked under your first knuckle. All right, so we're chopping our onion. Basically just kind of can use all the onion except for this little tiny end piece. It's actually, there's not really one on this one, so it looks like we got rid of it already. But we got our horizontal lines in here. We're gonna do some vertical lines. Chop, chop, chop. And then flip it the other way and do vertical lines as well. Then chop up the back. All right, so we got our onion all chopped up. I'm gonna add some oil. I'm gonna do some coconut oil. I'm gonna grab a spoon. I have like coconut oil over here. I didn't disappear, I'm still here. All right, so we got some coconut oil. And I'm gonna get that in here, starting to heat up. There we go. All right, so we're making a red lentil dal. I think traditionally you probably put the spices in before the onions. You might even put the garlic in before the onions, but I don't really cook that way, so we're not gonna do that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna saute the onions. So I'm just gonna pick this up. And we've got some coconut oil in there. I should have put on my microphone. No worries. Well, so we got our onion sauteing. Let me take a look at that. There we go. You just want to mix them around, make sure they don't burn, and make sure the oil gets distributed evenly. Now that we've got our onions in here, we're going to chop our peppers. Getting a slide it over just slightly. There we go. We're gonna chop pepper. And these are basically going to melt in, so you don't need to chop them too small, but you don't want them too big. And you just want to keep the onions moving. And now the pepper's in there. All right, so we got our red bell pepper. All right, I've got some ginger here. Comes a little bit wrinkly, but still fine. I'm gonna peel it with my knife. All right. I'm just gonna chop the ginger up. No, I'm not. I'm gonna grate it. Got this grater. It gets pretty big chunks. As you see, the grater has pretty big holes. This ginger is a little bit old, so it's a little bit like wrinkly and kind of fibrous. So I was just gonna chop it up, but I don't want like really fibrous pieces of ginger in my dal, so I'm gonna grate it. And it's kind of crazy, it's not grating that well. It's taking a while, but it's coming along. So yeah, so this iteration of the Instant Pot just like gets super hot and tends to burn stuff. So it's a good idea to just have some water on standby. And you don't really want to go too much water because you still want it to like brown or like kind of get some like browning on the onions. Like you don't want too much. You don't want to like burn them at all, but you do want it to like caramelize. So you got to do like a little bit of water, but not too much. We're gonna add the spices real soon. I'm just gonna get through this ginger first. And so red lentil dal is essentially, to me, the way I think about it is you're making lentils with curry spices. And then just enough water to like hydrate the lentils. And I like my lentils like really well cooked. I've gotten lentils from restaurants and stuff before that were like, they were, I think they were trying to keep them as like whole lentils and not have them turn to mush, but they were like undercooked and like just like really unpleasant to eat. And then it's like my stomach didn't feel good afterwards. So really not down with that. So I always soak my lentils. So I've got my lentils over here. So these just absorbed a bunch of water. They were totally submerged and now they absorbed all the water. So So just about like a cup and a half of lentils that I just soaked. And now I'm gonna rinse them, and then I'm gonna stick them in here. Before I get to the lentils, I'm gonna add my spices. Turmeric. So yeah, I'm gonna add about a half a teaspoon of turmeric, maybe more like a teaspoon. Mustard seeds, I'm gonna do about a half a teaspoon. Got brown mustard seeds right here. And if you get these in some oil, they'll actually start popping. And then I've got coriander, one of my favorite spices. I'm gonna do about 2 teaspoons of this. And then fennel, we're gonna do about a half a teaspoon. Fennel. I'm gonna add some garlic powder. And we are gonna do some fresh garlic. I'm gonna mix this up so the spices don't burn. And then we're also gonna put cumin in there. So I'm gonna do about, 2 teaspoons of cumin. We also got some red chili powder. Do a little bit of that. I do have this Thai chili here, which is very spicy, but I'm gonna add some of it. Then I can add the whole thing. The seeds are what's really spicy, but they have a lot of flavor too. So we're gonna add some of this. Just gonna see if I can slice off like the sides. Yeah, that actually worked really well. I'm gonna take some of the seeds out and just like put them in the compost. Keep this moving. All right, so we want our spices to toast on the bottom of the pan, but we don't want them to burn. So we're just gonna give it like 2 minutes, which it's probably been about 2 minutes at this point with the spices in there. And we just want them to toast. We just want them basically to like cook and like get toasty so that their flavor gets really developed and like enhanced when they get cooked. Just kind of opens up the flavor of the spices. But you really don't want it to burn because that just will ruin the flavor of the dish. So we're gonna add some water. Make sure to mix everything. Things tend to stick to the bottom of the pan, and if you just like add some water and then just mix everything well, you can get everything just kind of dislodged from the bottom. And so yeah, I think we've got basically the dry cook on here as much as we want. Just got this Thai chili in my hand. Finish this. So at this point, I think we can add liquid, and I think it's got plenty of flavor with the spices already toasted, and the onions sautéed and slightly caramelized. I got my Thai chili right here. These seeds came out super easily. I'm gonna put just a couple of the seeds in here to add that spice and flavor. These are super spicy. You don't want them on your fingers or your hands, actually. You just want to make sure you wash your hands really well if you do touch it, just because if you touch your face or anywhere else, it'll be like super spicy and hot and burning and not awesome. So yeah, you don't really want that. Yeah. But yeah, Thai chilies are no joke. If you like spice, they're great. Really great flavor. They're really fruity, but they are incredibly spicy. So gotta be careful. I'm gonna go wash my hands. I just touched on that a lot. All right, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of some roasted green chilies. You know, ideally get these organic, but I think I found this at grocery outlet. Say a little prayer. Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, you know, just gotta do what you can. Do your best. You get some stuff that's not organic sometimes, don't worry about it. All right, so we're gonna add some salt. I'm actually gonna measure this one. So we're gonna do a teaspoon and a half of salt. I think that's what it's gonna take. We might end up adding a little bit more later, but I think a teaspoon and a half is a pretty safe amount where we're not gonna oversalt it, but I think it'll be pretty close to where we really want it. All right, so with the green chilies in there, we don't really need to add more water at this point. We're just gonna let this cook. We basically want to get it as hot as possible and like those onions and everything to cook as much as possible before we add the lentils and the water. So right now we're gonna rinse our lentils. You can just enjoy the cooking experience that's happening in this Instant Pot right now. Gonna add a little bit of water, turn this down. All right, so I'm gonna turn this off, and then I'm gonna set it to bean chili. I'm gonna set it to 9 minutes. All right. Yeah, we're looking pretty steamy here. Just kind of throwing off the focus of the camera. I think someone was just out the door, but I'm filming the video, so. All right, so we got our lentils in here. I'm not sure why the camera won't focus. There we go. All right, so we got our lentils in here. Now I'm just gonna add some water. Which I am going to measure. So I've got a cup and a half of lentils. All right, here is a cup and a half of water. All right, so here's how we're looking. It's not so steamy, so we can get in here now. All right, so yeah, this is probably not quite enough water to cook it all the way. It's just equal parts lentils and water. The lentils were soaked, so I'm not going to need as much water, but I'm going to add a second cup of water. So I've got 1.5 cups of lentils and then 2.5 cups of water. And then once they're done cooking, I'm going to add some coconut milk. So I'm going to add probably about 1/2 can of coconut milk, or probably about 10 ounces. So maybe just a little bit over half. So, or 2/3, yeah. But yeah, this is it. I'm just gonna basically put the top on and let this come to temperature. And then once it comes out of once it's done cooking, I'm just gonna release the pressure, and then we will have some lentils, and then I'll just add the coconut milk, and that's it. So yeah, thanks for joining me. I will post a short or an update with the finished lentils, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Peace.